The unemployment report is out for January the 14th. We're going to go through it, and then we're going to go through some charts for the S&P 500, compare the unemployment to the market. But before we do, if this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, Certified Financial Planner, helping you reach your financial goals. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it up on the screen. We're going to go through the weekly unemployment report, and then we'll flip over to the charts. So here we go for the initial claims of 965,000, which was an increase of 181,000 from the previous week's revised levels. But as always, let's take a closer look at the 4-week moving average because, in my opinion, it's a little bit more important because you have more numbers, more weeks, more data, and you're getting a better idea of the unemployment trend. But that's still up. 834,250, an increase of 18,250 from the previous week's revised averages. That's the 4-week moving average. So it is increasing. The insured unemployment rate was 3.7%, and that for the week ending January 2nd, and that was an increase of 0.2 percentage points from the previous week's unrevised rate. Let's scroll down to see the state by state really quickly. And we have California at the highest. But there's a couple of interesting things going on here that I was looking at a couple of minutes ago. For January, so this is for January 2nd, California has state unemployment increasing or initial claims of 160,000, which was a decrease of 7,700 from the previous week's reported numbers. Now that is the highest number, the net number, the total number of people going on unemployment in any other state. And they have Illinois at 45,000, which is a drastic decrease of 65,000 from the previous week. You have New York at 56,000, a little bit of an increase of 5,400. Texas, 45,000 with an increase of 14,000. And the overall 919,680 with 83,708. Remember, this is January 2nd, so it's not the number that we saw up top. So this is January 2nd. But if we look over here to December 26th, this is also interesting because it's outlining the percentage of people that are on unemployment. And this is for insured unemployment. So even though you might be unemployed, if your insurance runs out on the unemployment, those payments, then you're not included in these numbers. So does it mean not really telling us exactly how many people are unemployed total. But even that being said, even though California does have one of the higher numbers in even percentages, it's not the highest percentage. We could see up here Alaska at 6.5%, and that is at 20,064. So a little bit of a population thing going on here. The larger population versus a much, much smaller population. And then we have Kansas at 88,000 at 6.4%. And that's more of an idea of what's actually going on with the unemployment when you're actually looking at the rate, because California is such a large state. So it's not really surprising that they have high net numbers, but as a percentage, it's still up there. And then we have Washington at 5.6%. They have 190,000 people on unemployment, insured unemployed. And then we have 5.3 million people on unemployment at 3.7%. Again, this is for the week ending December 26th. So a little bit of perspective there. And then let's flip over to the chart so we can see how the market is doing. And I have the 1 year at 17.99%. And that is quite impressive given that we're going through a pandemic. So there's a lot going on in our country. A lot of small businesses in general, were shut down. A lot of people had to stay home. But if we look at the annualized numbers, and I just put it out to the max here to put it in perspective for you, 10.25% annual rate of return for the S&P 500 back to about the 1980s. I think that's about how far back this chart is going right now. So at an annual rate, that's 10.25%. Again, 1 year was 17.99%. And I think this is changing. No, that's not changing. We're good there. 3 years was 44.87, which is an annualized rate of 13.12%. Over the last decade, 13.8% on the S&P 500, a total of 264.6%. So again, that's pretty impressive over the last year, almost 18%. And year to date, we're at 1.49%. And again, the date is January 14th. So that's pretty good. Last 3 months, 8.92%. So almost a whole year, almost 2 years in the last 6 months. In the last 6 months, up 21.75%. 3 months, 8.92%. So in the last 6 months, you're feeling like the market has gone up quite a bit. But over the last year, not quite as much, but still a lot more than normal. So the normal, again, one last time, 10.25%. Now let's put some of these insured unemployment numbers up here. So we have the insured unemployed here against the S&P. We're going to put the original so we can really see it. And if we look over the last, say, 3 years, you're going to see those same charts that I've been pointing out every week. The unemployment rate goes up, but what's the leading indicator? The market. The market goes down in anticipation of something bad coming, and unemployment spikes. But before it can even get to the spike of 14.7%, the market starts to creep up again. So kind of interesting how that works, that the market is anticipating something happening to the unemployment rate. Of course, it's all delayed because people have to be unemployed, then file for unemployment, then get unemployment, and then the reports come out. So a little bit of perspective there. And that is the report for January the 14th for unemployment. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.